Thank you to Westcoast Brace and Limb. They are allowing us the use of their facilities and also one of their top guys. So come here and join me. Come meet Daymon. If you recognize Daymon, this good-looking guy has been gracing the cover of my Strong Body book, and he's also been the below the knee model in all of my exercise video series. And I'm gonna let Daymon introduce himself.
Hello, my name is Daymon Jenkins. I work for Westcoast Brace and Limb in the sales and marketing department. Also do peer consults for the company when needed. I've been an amputee for 10 years due to trauma. I've known Cosi for about 5.5 years. She approached me recently about this project to develop a running program and stretching exercises, and I woefully enlisted in it, but no, I'm looking forward to it and I'm excited about it, and hopefully it can help someone out and also myself.
And Daymon, thank you so much again for not only agreeing to do this and signing on the dotted line, but also for allowing people to see your journey through this. As many of you who've been watching the show for a while, you know that I love to run it for my own personal fitness. I love teaching my patients and my viewers on how to run as well. But running is not just as easy as popping a leg on and going off and running. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, okay? Most importantly, it's to prepare a person to be able to withstand the forces of running, which can be pretty brutal on the human body, right? It's also to make sure that a person can stay injury-free while they're running, okay? So there's 4 really big things that I look at when I'm considering whether or not a person is a running candidate. The first one, and probably the most important, is past medical history. Now, before we went live, I took a medical history on Daymon and we did a physical therapy evaluation. Thankfully, he is healthy as a horse. There are no red flags, nothing to preclude him from running. When you guys see that asterisk on fitness programs where it says, consult with your doctor or your clinician before starting this fitness program, it's a really good idea to do that, guys, okay? It's not to say that if you have medical conditions such as diabetes or high blood pressure or autoimmune disease, that you can't do a fitness program or that you can't eventually get back to running. It just means you got to be safe about it and work with your clinician. And this is where your neighborhood-friendly physical therapist can come into play. So that's the past medical history. Second biggest thing is probably the meat and potatoes of the physical therapy behind it, okay? So as a physical therapist, I'm considering head-to-toe strengthening. I'm listening to balance, and I'm looking at flexibility, and then obviously the cardiopulmonary endurance component. So prior to the going live for the 3rd time today, we did a full head-to-toe evaluation on Daymon on all of these different tenets and pillars, okay? So there's a few things, and he said it's okay for me to share this. There's a few areas of strengthening, both in his residual limb and in his sound limb, that need to be worked. So specifically, the quad muscles, hamstrings, and the glutes. Those need to be nice and strong and stable. So we gave him lots of exercises from here, okay? So when people have seen this program, it's about 150 exercises adapted for below the knee and above the knee amputees. And these exercises are meant to carry people from the beginning all the way through our high-end athletes, okay? And they're divided up into different phases. So someone like Daymon, you can tell he's got some nice muscle in his arms. He's at a phase 3 for arm exercises. But when it comes to the leg exercises, we're actually working on phase 1 and phase 2 because I want to build a good foundation for him before we start that heavy-duty running. So he got his homework assignment. We tried some of those exercises out. How did they feel?
I'm sore. I'm gonna be sore.
Yeah.
No, it feels good.
Yeah, he's going to be remembering my name tomorrow morning. But we're going to have him do those exercises. And guys, it's not a lot. I don't overload people with strengthening exercises. My concern is that the exercise is done the right way. Okay, and I've done lots of videos on that. So we talked about past medical history. We've talked about the physical therapy component of it. Then there's the other side, and this is where the physical therapist and the prosthetist come together. Skin health, okay? I talk a lot about skin health on the show, and I really put it into action when I'm working with my runners. So we were having a little chit chat about this. When you're running, you're putting 8 to 10 times the force of your body weight into your joints and also your skin. So your skin is going to be more prone to shearing and friction. So you really have to watch it like a hawk. So we took a peek at Daymon's skin, and he's okay with my sharing this. He does have a graft here, and he has a little bit of an aroma that's here that we're just going to be keeping an eye on. So for me with my runners, I love the liquid to powder that is made by VitalFit. It's something that I use a lot with my runners, a lot with my walking amputees as well. It provides a really great barrier here on the graft, and it does not interfere with the liner, right? The liner can still be in full contact with the skin, which is ideally what we want, okay? So as we start to work with Daymon on his running, we're going to be double and triple checking his skin along the way to make sure that it stays healthy. Another thing to consider as a runner is, are we going to need to make sure that his socket is not rotating while he's running? Because again, that can cause friction and shearing in the skin. We good so far? Yeah, okay. So we did past medical history, we did physical therapy, we did skin, and last and certainly not least, prosthetic considerations, okay? And again, guys, this is where as a physical therapist, I really rely upon my relationship with the prosthetist as well as my runner to make sure that we are doing everything possible. So, Daymon has a Phil Hour All-Pro, great foot. Love this foot, right? So this is gonna be a fantastic foot for him to start learning how to run and build his routine. As he gets better and as he gets more comfortable with his running, we're gonna have him try out different running feet. The main reason is because everyone's a little bit different, right, in what they prefer and how they feel when they're running. But it's not something that he's going to be able to really appreciate the difference until a little bit later on down the line, okay? But this is a fantastic foot for running, for starting, for continuing to run, so we got a good setup right here, okay? In his case, he's using a pin lock. A lot of my runners like to use a pin lock because again, it just keeps that, feels that suspension and it keeps that leg on that much more. Do you use pin lock for your walking?
Yes.
As well, okay. So with some of my amputee runners, they use the pin lock for running and then they'll just use supracondylar suspension for their walking activities. We're probably gonna be looking to see if he's gonna need an extra suspension sleeve on the outside while he's running. And again, these are things that we're gonna keep on talking to his prosthetist. His alignment is another thing that we're going to be taking into consideration, and he's already a little bit higher. Do you know how much you are?
Probably about an inch, I would say 3/4 to an inch.
Okay. And this is something that my runners a lot of times don't realize when they start running is, for some of them, it's beneficial to be a little bit longer on the prosthetic side. And the reason for that is when you hit the ground running, your blade compresses, and it makes you feel like you're shorter on that leg. So these are little fine-tuning things that we're going to be looking at as he runs, and we're just going to accommodate to his needs. So hopefully we'll be able to bring his prosthetist on the show a little bit later on to talk about some of these things as well. So guys, that's kind of the basic things. We're going to be working hopefully in the next few weeks and doing little video segments here and there of the different exercises and different considerations as Daymon preps for his big race. And hopefully I won't scare him off in the process with the running. So as always, guys, thank you to Westcoast Brace and Limb for the use of the facilities, for allowing me to borrow Daymon, and for Kelly, who's working behind the camera right now and helping us out with all the filming. And guys, check back in, check out the YouTube channel where I have a lot of these videos, and don't forget to check out the Strong Body website. All of his exercises are coming from that program. All right, guys, God bless and have a wonderful week.